don't know, in my last video we went to see the Stewartville mine site, which is on the other side of the preserve here. But today we're going to be heading toward the Nortonville site, which is on the very opposite side of the park. Should be able to see more elaborate mine openings here. It's mighty windy here today, and we're just headed up the trail here. And what we're going to do is, when we get up here a little bit farther, we're going to stop at the Rose Hill Cemetery. These mines started back in the mid to late 1800s, and many of the people that mine this area, as mentioned last week, were from Wales. And this trail is a little steeper than it looks on the film, but anyway, when we get up to the Rose Hill Cemetery, we'll just go through and real quick and just show you what that looks like. Very interesting. So we'll see you when we get up there. Okay, we made it back up, or made it up to Rose Hill Cemetery here. As you can see, it's a nice quiet place, very peaceful. It's just a sign here that gives a little information on the cemetery. This was, like I said, 19th century coal boom started all of this, the towns down here. And people who are buried here, most of them died in mining accidents or were victims of various diseases. Many children are up here that are, 1 to 2 years of age. Very sad, very hard time to live through. But anyway, we've got to admire people for having the strength to go through these things and the bravery and so forth. I mean, here's some of the old tombstones, some of the beautiful artwork. Unfortunately, many of these were broken, like this one, in vandalism episodes before this became an actual preserve, when it was just unkept. And as you can see, just got a lot of graves here. There's one that's enclosed here in a little iron enclosure. There's a small one over here. This person, Peter Davis, was from South Wales. Looks like he died in like 1874. Traveled from across the sea, become mine, and now they're here. Some brave people. These are the type of people that make the country run. We'll just keep going up through here. Won't spend a whole lot of time in here, just wanted you to see. Like I said, a lot of these tombstones were either vandalized or stolen. Some of them are still gone. They have been able to recover some of them over the years just through pleas. That's a 23-year-old. A lot of refurbishment has taken place. Made it very nice. I was here just a few weeks ago when everything was still green and there were wildflowers in here, and it was very beautiful. There's the final resting place of a husband and wife. And very peacefully resting together. We'll look at one more grave, and then we'll head on up to down to the Nortonville site. A little background. This grave up here that we're headed toward is that of Sarah Norton. She was a well-known midwife in the town. Wasn't a particularly religious person, but she was killed in a horse and buggy accident, and it is said that she still roams the hills here, that she can frequently be seen after dark and at the entrance to the mines. So yeah, that's the local lore. You can find it on the internet too. Pretty interesting story. But we'll work our way out of here now, and we'll see as we get closer to the Nortonville mine site. Okay, we're headed down the trail here, headed toward the Nortonville mine site. As you can see, there's a pretty good pile of tailings there. That's of course out of the mine. We'll get up there in just a little bit as we make our way down here. As you can see, it's very desolate down here too, but just like Summersville, this was a bustling town down here. Now these both of these towns, Summersville and Nortonville, they had their own churches, they had their own bars, they had their own hotels. It was a pretty big operation. But if you look at it now, you think, oh, there's no way there could have been anything like that here, but it was. And like I said, this is one of the harder areas on the hike. Not many people come this way. I like coming in the areas where nobody goes. It makes for more interesting videoing and so forth. And we'll go down here and see what this sign says. As you can see, this is basically tailings we're sitting on right now, or standing on. I don't think I'm sitting. Anyway, this says this is the largest site of all the towns. In fact, it was named after Norton Noah. Started in 1861, had over 1,000 residents here in town. And here's just some of the pictures you'll see. I mean, you can see that it was a pretty big place. And you know, we'll get down there and look at some of the other stuff, but it's just, yeah, it's a very interesting place. We'll make our way up to where the main part of the mine was, where the incline shaft was situated, and see what we can see. Of course, it's you can't go into any of these mines because they've either been filled in or barred up so that nobody goes in. Those mines can be dangerous. They can be very dangerous. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get in a lot of trouble, including the ultimate trouble. So yeah, they're not, I mean, caves, natural caves are dangerous too, but the fact that they've been there for thousands and thousands of years, but then you got a mine that's been there maybe 100 years and it was not natural, man-made tunnel, so to speak, and those things will over time eventually cave completely in. Some of them last longer than others, but just another example of how anything man-made doesn't last forever. Everything God made, that lasts forever. So we'll just make our way down this trail. Still see a lot of flowers. This actually, I mean, these are wildflowers, but like I'd mentioned several weeks ago, all of this was green, and it was, I mean, that was just one species of flower there. And there were a lot of them in here. It was just beautiful. But there's a beauty about this too. And you live out here long enough, you get used to the dry season and the wet season. Of course, with if you exclude this past winter and spring, we hadn't had much wet weather, but we sure were blessed this last weekend. That's this last year end and in the beginning of this year. So this is one of those places, if you ever want to just get out, get away from everything, and just clear your head, this is the place to come, because it's just peaceful. And you get out on these trails that most people don't come on. You don't have to worry about even dealing with anybody else. But anyway, we'll make our way on up here. And we're at the very outer boundary of the park here. Turning back into the park. And these are all used as fire roads for service vehicles, just in case we have fires. And the brush here. As you can see, we've got our tailings up there, and pretty extensive. Okay. Okay, we're coming up to where the main Nortonville incline shaft is, and I'll go down there quickly. We're going up a steep incline again, trying to get my breath. Black Diamond Shaft. This is a 750-foot sealed shaft. It's the largest mine in the Mount Diablo coal fields. 1.5 million tons of coal in the early 60s, 1860s and 1885. That's when it moved to Washington. This is what it actually looked like. Then we're going to go down here and see some of the remnants. And I'm looking at this grass here. We talked about rattlesnakes last week, and these are the areas you really have to watch where you step. Keep your eyes peeled, because this is prime area for rattlesnakes. I know from experience, And one good rule of thumb is if you're walking along and your first instinct is you see, well, it looks like a rope laying there. Believe me, that is not a rope. If you see anything that looks like a rope, stop. Because that rope is not a rope. Okay, here's basically all that's left of the Black Diamond shaft here. This is where the old building was, and the shaft is actually starts right underneath where all of those rotten logs are. There's some of the remnants, and as you can see, some of it fell over a little bit, but it's a pretty cool place. Okay, this basically here is here are the walls. See, Mother Nature has taken over. Some pretty thick brick walls, but if you go in here, of course you can't tell just from looking, but this is where the shaft was. And as the information indicated, it's a 750 foot shaft, incline shaft. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. And then you just got the open country here. So we'll work our way back over to the other trail that we were going to go on to start with, and going up into Coal Canyon. It's called Coal Canyon. There's some couple of old shafts up there that we can look at, and there's another place called Jim's place. We'll touch on that later. Okay, we're heading into Coal Canyon now, but we're going to take a side trip over here to a couple of places I discovered about a year ago. A couple of pretty neat shafts. And there again, as I come through here, I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled. It's a pretty grown-up area. I don't think very many people come out here. I think we're just on a little mining road now. We'll just make our way down through here, and like I said, hopefully my attention span will be long enough to where I don't meet up with what my dad used to call no shoulders. Before he grabs a hold of me. just have to be aware, alert and aware. You can see here's some of the coal tailings here from over here. There are, I forget how many miles of mine shafts in these mountains here. This mountain here is just full of them. I heard a hawk. Hawks have one of the most haunting but yet beautiful cries. I love hearing those hawks scream like that. Still up there. So let's I lost my attention there for a second, so it's unfortunate I didn't find my old friend. Oh. this is typically a place families don't bring their kids through. And as we get into this area, we're getting closer and closer to where these two small mountains come together, and these shafts are in the crevice here. We'll get in there and see what we can see. Okay, try to get through here. Okay, yeah, this is where the two come together. You can see all the stones and rocks and cliffs and crevices and all that good stuff. First time I saw that, it was really weird. There was a fresh backbone of some animal hanging on that thing. It was sort of creepy, but I don't know, it wasn't there when I came back, so try to get down here without killing myself. See, all of this, and all the recent rains, all of this washed into these gullies here. See, it gets a little bit sketchy through here. There's one of the shafts over there. We'll get there. We'll come back down and look at that one. I wanted to show you the big one I was telling you about. This one that we're about to go to is like, on a hot day, the air flows out of this mine opening just like a register for an air conditioner, and it's just like walking into a nicely air conditioned home. So I have come in here a couple of times over the years just to cool off. Okay, let's see if I can get up here without killing myself. I may turn this off until I get up there and turn it back on. Okay, we just got past that sketchy part, so I'm not laying in the ravine now, so I guess we're doing good. So we're coming up here now. We're very close to the opening here. Oh. And here it is. Let's go on in here and I'll show you what we see, what we found. Oh, I already feel that cold air. I've posted photos of this on my PW Images _ site on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook also. But, this is a partially collapsed mine here, because I think the top part, if you were able to get in there, you could crawl over, but looks like there's been some collapse here, or maybe they filled it in. I don't know. They're trying to bar up all of the openings so nobody either gets hurt or killed. So, which that's a good thing. So this is, like I said, on a hot day, this is a godsend. And as you can see, very beautiful, very peaceful. A lot of graffiti on here. A lot of it's pretty old. I found one not in here, but just outside of the wall and up the trail a little. It was dated like 1952. So people were coming here before it was even a park, you know, after it was been shut down as a mine and then as now a park. And people came up here just to do their thing. Okay, let me see if I can get down here again. And that just keeps going up through the crevice here. There are a couple of other places up there that I think might have been mine openings or prospect holes or whatever you want to call them. But this one down here, of course it's barred up, but you can see inside. I'll get down there. When we get down there, I'll get my flashlight out and we'll stick the GoPro in there and maybe we can see that. So I will turn this off while I try to get down this trail without killing myself. Okay, we're down here, almost to the, let me go down here before I bust my rear end. We'll go in this way. Okay, through the wash. Okay, that was better. Let's go in here. We'll take a quick peer into this stope. Get in here. Sort of hard to hold things. Let's see here if we can get it. Yep, there we are. You see a lot of these things here. This one looks like it's filled in some, but you know, it's pretty interesting. This opening's not but about a couple of feet high. For somebody my age, it's not easy to navigate. So I don't know. Hopefully you were able to see something there. Anyway, let's get back down here and get our gear back on. We'll get back on the main trail, and we'll go. We'll get up to another stope. Well, I don't know if that may be a prospect tunnel up there, but you can see it a lot better than this one. And it's a little more accessible. So when I get my gear together, we'll see you back on the trail. Okay, we're back on the main trail here after getting out of there, out of that brushy area we were in. We are heading into Cold Canyon. As you can see, there's a lot of stones and cliffs and bluffs and so forth. Even got vultures up there. Hope they're not waiting on me. Anyway, we'll make our way up here. A little bit of a climb during that first part there, but it's pretty. As you can see, there's actually a road that goes up to there, so there was some mining activity here. It's all part of the Nortonville network. This is actually an air shaft here that goes down into the mines. As you can see, it's completely blocked up. I don't think there's any way you can go. If they needed to get down there, I don't even know that opens up. I don't know. Doesn't look like it. But anyway, you can feel cool air coming out from there too. We'll start up our little climb up Cold Canyon Trail here. That's a little tunnel there. not sure what the purpose of that is, but it just goes up to the top of the rocks there. It's almost like a easy climb to the top of this bluff here. Sort of interesting. There, this is one of the more remote areas of the park. As you can see, sandstone bluffs closer up here. And we'll make our way up to this other opening. We'll peer into it also. It has bars on it too, but it's only like crawl space though. Okay, I'll give the camera a rest for a second while I make my way up this trail and we get closer to that opening. Okay, we're about midway up the canyon here, and as you can see, we've come up a little bit. We've got a little more to go before getting to the top. But as you can see, just beautiful. And we're going to make our way up here, and we'll start seeing some mine tailings up here. Still somewhat of a climb. Okay. Here is some tailings. I actually went up that a couple of years ago and found where some mine openings used to be. And this rock here, it is quite treacherous to climb up because it's all loose. There again, take another look here. We'll see you at the tunnel. Okay, this is not the tunnel we were talking about, but thought I'd turn the camera back on just so you could see. Looks like where they were starting another tunnel. It only goes in about 3 feet, but you can see the holes, the smaller holes up there where they were drilling to stick dynamite in there. So evidently they, for whatever reason, they stopped work on this particular opening. So let's get back down here, get back on the trail. And continue up this way. I think that other opening is just up here, a little ways past the corner up there. Still some more of the tailings from what I was just telling you about. So we'll get on up here. Some of you may not know what that is if you don't live out here out west. This is a manzanita tree. They're different from most any tree you'll look at or want to see. They have a red bark to them, red smooth bark. That one, it's a little faded due to its age and the fact that it went through several years of dry, but when they're 100% healthy, it's like a candy apple red, and it almost shines. It looks almost metallic, but and that wood is hard too, very hard wood. get on up here. I think we're getting close. Climbing up another steep hill. Another area here where some preliminary work, I guess, was taking place, and they just never brought it to completion. Well, here's that opening. Let's work our way in there. I posted this, still shots of this on my Instagram website, or Instagram page, shall I say. Oh, didn't feel good. This one's pretty neat here. Catch my breath. I'll go down in there. Turn the light on here. Whew. Sorry for me being out of shape. Let's get this bright light going. Not that one. See? Looks like that's blocked up in the back. But this is just crawl space, is what it is. It's just crawl space. So it's pretty neat. Oh, anyway, it's crouching over, so it gets you too. So, yeah, just thought I'd give you a look at this, and we'll try to get out of here now. And now, if I can get out myself. Okay, well, I'm going to shut this down for a few minutes, and we'll get to our next destination, which should be what they call Jim's place. I'll explain it to you when we get up there. Okay, we're coming up on on Jim's place. This is the place I've been telling you about. We really don't know the origin of this. It's not a mine opening or anything, but it appears to be where somebody might have made themselves a house or a place to live while the mining was going on. You see, it's nothing more than just a pretty good hole here, and of course it's full of pine cones now, but it looks like it was designed to be a living space. And as you can see, there's a place here, like a shelf of some kind, and if you look there, there's a vent hole in the ceiling, so it's a pretty good, little place for somebody to live. If you wanted to just live out in the wild. Like I said, they don't know the origin, they don't know who did it, but it's just called Jim's place now. So just thought it might be pretty interesting for you to see this. See, there's the hole. Probably for a stovepipe or something, I don't know. Anyway, you can see there's places where you can put things. Well, there's another hole right there. So, yeah, I think it might have been somebody that maybe during the mining days they just took it upon themselves to build themselves a house. There's another place for something. Anyway, there's just more interesting things to see out here. We'll continue on up the trail. It's about a 5-mile trail all the way around, but we'll go to the next place. Just a quick look as we get up to the summit of the mountain here. The summit's just right behind me, just a little ways farther. Just want to give you a glimpse of the Clayton Valley here at Mitchell Canyon State Park, off in the distance where the Dark Mountain is. And then there's the area right beside it. I don't know if you can tell on the video, but that's where they've been mining, above ground mining on that mountain, so you can see the tiers of rock. So just a very beautiful place. We'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, we finally reached the summit of the trail here. As you can see, pretty good ways up here. I don't know what the elevation is, but it's a good climb. So we're going to get off the paved trail, back on the dirt trail, just work our way back to the parking lot. Earlier we were walking right beside that mountain there in the distance, so we've come a good ways here. Now we're headed downhill. That's the best part. So we'll just keep on keeping on. And as mentioned earlier, a few weeks ago when everything was green, this area in particular was really beautiful, with all of the colorful flowers, the different colored flowers, and it's just awesome. As you can see, the weeds have dried up, and that's normal because we are in our dry season, as I was mentioning before. Some of these bushes will hold on for a little time. I don't know what those are. They have a nice fragrance to them, and they seem to be some of the last things that disappear after the rains disappear. So as you can see, we got a lot of that up here. So we're going down the trail. Just a little view across this little valley here. This is actually called Hidden Canyon. That's actually down in that area, like right in there. It's where we were in the beginning when we went into that tall, narrow mine opening that had the cold air coming out. So that's down in that area. So that crevice actually fans out into this valley. And that area there, that ridge, a lot of mining activity over there. It was really hard to get to. The hillside is filled with those manzanita trees. It's like the groves of those trees. And I have tried to go through some of those before, and they are virtually impossible to go through. They will rip you to shreds. The wood is so rigid, even the smaller limbs, that they'll tear you to pieces. But that's a pretty neat area there. And the area over the trees there, that's out in the valley where I live. Just a nice peaceful area up here. And so as you can see, the waterway down there, it's where the barges, freight ships come through to go on their way to Stockton. So very beautiful place. So we'll work our way on out and maybe do a little bit more, and then we'll be getting out of here. So signing off for a few minutes. Okay, we're on the Manhattan Canyon Trail right now and heading back to the car. Just wanted you to see some of this beautiful scenery here. The area straight ahead where that rocky sided hillside is, that's where the Hazel Atlas mines are. The sand mines, silica mines, and the old Pittsburgh mine, coal mine. So we hope to get that videoed in a near future video. That'll be a lot more to be videoing. So I'm already hiked about 6 miles here, so I'm about ready to hit the car and hit the water here. So like I said, that there's just a whole lot here to explore and a lot of trails to hike. So there goes the vulture in front of me, and beginning to get a little hot here. It was cold, well, not really cold, but it was cool, a little bit windy. Seems like the wind has sort of settled down and the heat's sort of showing. I've been up there before. It's pretty cool. It's sort of a sketchy way to get up there, but it's cool once you get up there. Like I said, all of that over there would be associated with the Hazel Atlas sand mines, and maybe I could do some video inside the mine, like I indicated earlier. They do have the Hazel Atlas mine that is open to the public. It's like a $5 admission fee, but it's a really cool thing to see. You got the rails inside the mine and all that good stuff. So we'll do that too. Just like I said, a lot to see here. And if you don't mind walking a little bit, it's great. I mean, with 66 miles of trails, you're probably going to have to do some walking if you're going to see a good portion of this. Looks like we're getting a little high ledge here down into Manhattan Canyon there. There's another sort of like that air shaft that we just went in. There's one just right below us here, and it's associated with the sand mine, so we'll take that in when we video the sand mines. So anyway, here's another small opening. It's real hard to see. I mean, it's just barely big enough for a good sized man to crawl through or to slither through. Not sure where that goes, but it's all in the network of mines here. They all sort of tie together somehow. I forget how many miles of mine tunnels they have here, but it's a lot. I'd have to check that out again. But it's several miles of mine shafts, and most of them are intertwined with each other. There's some pretty rugged hillsides, a lot of mining activity over there, and we'll just head through the gate here. The Old West Gate. As you can see, that's the tailings for the Hazel Atlas sand mine. Then the ones, there's some out in the middle of the screen there. Those are from the Pittsburgh coal mines. I think most of the Pittsburgh coal mines are caved in. There you go. You can go in the Hazel Atlas sand mine, and it actually passes by a little section there on the wall where it's actually where it crosses where the coal mine was, but you'll be able to see when we go through there. It's as flat as a pancake now. It's completely collapsed. It's just looks like a coal seam now. But just thought it might be cool to show some of you what's here. And it's not just a dry, sunny wheat field. That there is a little bit more to see. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all this, and we'll work on getting some more videos as we have the opportunity. Thanks.